good evening, everyone. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime, and I am live. So, like I said before, the last live I did on YouTube, I don't do the YouTube lives too often, simply because I have more of a following on Facebook, and you use what you got. I've got like over 900 Facebook friends, and it's just made it easier to do it on Facebook. So, make sure my microphone is good, my volume is up. Hopefully everybody can see and hear me. Okay. So all right. Just want to talk about a couple things tonight. Marissa Carmichael kind of ties into a little bit of it, but we had a case here recently in Greensboro where a young 19-year-old woman was found dead on a picnic table, not basket, table. And when they found who killed her, ended up being her boyfriend, and he was 27 years old. And that bothers me on so many different levels. So many levels. And I'm going to talk about that tonight because what on earth are these older men doing with these younger girls? I mean, yeah, she was over 18 and yeah, she was an adult and yeah, whatever, But 19 isn't 27. And the things you find out about yourself and about life in between 19 and 27 is a lot. They say that your prefrontal lobe is not even fully formed until you're like 25. So most women or most people are not even able to make sound decisions until they're about 25. It's insane. Well, anyway, this case, on July 28th, at the 2900 block of Hague Street, they got a report of a person lying on a picnic table under a pavilion at a park. When they found the person, they were dead. And they noticed they were dead from gunshot wounds. And she was identified as 19-year-old Jakayla Marie Good, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. And what's even more sad is that she is the 22nd homicide that we've had in Greensboro since the start of 2024. That's a lot. That's a lot. And it was a few days after that they arrested the person that shot her, and that is 27-year-old Kevin Zaire Lawton McLean. And you find out he was the ex-boyfriend or the current boyfriend. 27-19. I mean, that's just... No, come on, guys. I mean, I was 19 once, and I dated somebody who was older, and it was obvious this was not a good idea. I mean, I know people, especially women, have this story, like, oh, I dated this guy who was older, I dated, the football team, whatever you want to do. Everybody talks about this stuff, and you experience this, and you learn from this. And I guess, and another friend of mine and I were talking about this, about how we both did, these things when we were younger. And we were just lucky enough that it did not backfire and get us killed in the process. Clint, thank you. And Isaac, yes, my eyes are blue as hell. I don't know why that is. I get that a lot. I have blue eyes. I got them from my dad. Any other comments, just let them out. So back to this. So can you men out there that are paying attention to this, can you explain to me what the good idea is about dating a woman that's so much younger than you. What is the appeal? Because obviously you don't have too much in common. So it has to be physical, and those of you out there that are young, you're adults, or even you could not be adults. You could be, 17 years old or whatever. But listen to this, because it's not a great idea to date somebody significantly older than you. Because what happens is it ends up being kind of like more or less the person you're with is running you, telling you what to do, how to live, because they're treating you like a child. Rob Armstrong, then we realize the young girl is nuts. Okay, Rob, can you explain that? What do you mean that the young girl is nuts? And okay, so no appeal to you. You don't want a non-worldly woman. Okay, I get that. I mean, yeah, you want somebody who has seen life and been around the world a little bit, I guess. But I mean, but I see this so much. Okay. But like one case I keep talking about, Marissa Carmichael, she went missing in January of this year. Mother of 5, don't know where she is. She was 25 years old, had 5 kids. She started off having kids at 15. The guy that she was with the longest, the father of her youngest 4 kids, she got with him when she was like 16 years old, and he was like 33. So explain to me why that's happening. Her younger sister is dating a guy that's twice her age. The girl just turned 18, he's 36. And he's been with her since she was like 14. None of this is good, you know? Is it a control issue? Is it... Okay, anything random and I'm a man. Okay, so what do you mean by that? You're a man. Great, you're a man. You want to elaborate on what you mean by that? Because I run into people, I have these conversations with men that their ex so-and-so, they got married, and there was a bit of an age gap, like 6, 7, 8 years. And I asked them, I said, why did you do that? Let's see, read your previous comment. Anything random? There is no previous comment. Sorry. But, and I'll keep saying, well, they were young. They were young. They were young. They were in shape. Okay, great. You do realize that these young women, after they have a couple kids, they kind of fall out of shape, right? It happens. As you get older, skin gets loose. Look at me, loose here and there. I'm worldly, I've had my kids. But, let's see. Now, I understand that, Rob. Yeah, young women like older guys because they're more mature and financially stable. Yes, I see that. But there's also a controlling factor there. And who wants that? Who wants to be controlled like that? Some people do, some people don't. I'm not knocking anybody's relationship. But wait, hold on here. Goes both ways. There's older women with much younger guys. Yes, I hear you, and I see that too. I mean, when my husband died a few years ago, I got a lot of interest from guys in their early 20s, and I'm like, dude, I am not doing that. I can't date anybody who is old enough to date one of my own kids. That's not happening. Anything random? I agree with that. Those guys never did grow up and are boys and not men. Yep. Rob Armstrong, you want to know how old I am? Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to answer that on here. What do you think? Take a guess. How old do you think I am? But, I mean, like I said, I'm not knocking anybody with an age difference in all that. I'm not knocking it. I'm just wondering, because you keep hearing these stories, these young men. Wow, you're close. I'm 1 year older than what you just posted. So, anyway, but it can't always work out. I mean, there has to be the random. Yeah, I think I would say like 90% of those don't work out when there's that massive age gap, especially when it's that young. It's one thing if it's like an 8-year age gap when you're 19, the other person's like 28 or 27 or whatever. But when you're like 30 and they're 38, that's a little bit different, I mean, because you've seen some things. Okay, thank you. Anything random. So you're a father, your daughter's 22. Why would I even date a 25-year-old? Makes no sense. I'd rather be with a woman with brains. Yeah, and what's funny is that in the dating scene, you see a lot of that. These guys want to go with younger. It's like they've been with one woman for 20 years and that woman has let herself go or whatever, and they just weren't happy because of the physical aspect. Um, my late husband and I went through that. Um, my late husband had the same attitude towards me because I had put on a significant amount of weight over time. And I understood why he was unhappy because I didn't look like I used to. And then I had to work very hard and get back to what I used to look like, physically. But then he didn't do it for me because, he put on some weight. And it's like, okay, why do I have to kill myself? And you don't, you know. I hear you on that factual truth. And I can't deny that. With people with age do, I mean, women, and you're saying women, but I'm thinking people in general with age get more bitter and unbearable. I think that's in anybody. Right. Now, I get you on that anything random. If you're married, that's just something you have to deal with. You're married her for a reason. You either love her or you don't. Right. And I agree with you on that because I was married for 22 years and it didn't matter how he physically changed. It didn't bother me because it's like you said, you're married, it's what you deal with. And sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable here. But women are being held to a completely different standard. And it's like we have to stay youthful looking and thin and healthy and all this other stuff. And I'm just wondering why the double standard? Why aren't men being held to the same standard? Why do women have to be held to the standard? It's exhausting. It really is. Because I would love somebody's input on that. So, okay, so anything random, you don't feel you're appreciated. In what way? Okay, I understand that's how you feel, but can you give me an idea in what way? Are we talking in the bedroom? Are we talking morally? Okay. Like I said, everybody has their what they like. I mean, for me, weight was never an issue for me about my appeal to somebody or them being appealing to me. But like I said, I gained a significant amount of weight. I mean, when I lost it all, I lost about 150 pounds. So I was much heavier. So, like I said, I completely understand why my husband acted the way he did. I get it. Didn't help, but it was one of those things where I had to realize I didn't lose the weight because of him. I lost the weight from me because I just wasn't healthy. And I'm glad I did it, because I think I have extended my life significantly by dropping that. But I'm hearing all these cases about all these older men. Oh, okay, okay. So anything random, we don't get thanked. I guess you could say that everything we do is expected of us. That's an interesting take. I call it not being appreciated. I call it being taken for granted because my husband did the same thing to me. I never got thanked. I never got appreciated for anything I did. And when I brought it up to him once, he said, "Why should I thank you or commend you for doing something you should already be doing?" But I still think thank yous go a long way, even if it's not anything stupendous. Showing appreciation goes a long way with any relationship or anything. I thank everybody for everything. That's just who I am, though. But is it just me, or is anybody seeing an uptick in some of these homicide cases where there's like just a massive age difference between the victim and the person and the suspect? Is it just me, or is anybody else seeing it? Yeah, I get you on that. Anything random, I get you. It's give, not 50-50. It's 100-100. I get you. This is why I'll never get married again. He died, I got free. I'm not getting married again. I'm good. I did that. I did my time. 22 years is like literally like a life sentence in most states, with prison. Not saying that my marriage was a prison. Okay, I'm not lying. I'm lying. It was a prison. It really was. Not a great marriage. I supported him in everything he wanted to do. Did not get the same for myself. Wow. Okay. Factual truth. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that because here's the thing. Looks aren't everything. Personality's not everything. It really isn't. You have to have some type of basis for a relationship. I've told people, I mean, you could have great sex with somebody, but sometimes sex goes away. Age, whatever, equipment, you name it, something happens, you just stop doing it. And if you don't have anything else outside of sex, that relationship's not going to go anywhere. It's going to end. So I that's what I think on that. But yeah, like I said, I keep hearing about these cases with these young girls, or these men, meeting these teenagers online and kidnapping them and everything else. And it's like, what is going on with today's society? Too many, too many of this. And like I said, this girl, I don't know how long they were together. They have not said um, how long their relationship was, if it was a quick little thing or whatever. But I mean, for him to shoot her, I mean, I'm wondering what the heck she did. Did she like kick his dog or something? Yeah, yeah, I hear you. You spent 18 years with someone. Yeah, I spent 22. 22. And it was funny because right after he passed, my aunt, who, let me say this, did not get married until she was in her 40s, um, called me to check in on me. It was a couple months after he died. And immediately was like, "Are you getting married again?" I'm like, gee, her name's Aunt Polly. It's like, gee, Aunt Polly, he's barely cold. I haven't even put myself out there yet like that. She's like, "Well, you're no spring chicken. You're not getting any younger." I'm like, okay. So, but again, she comes from a generation where they feel you need a man to survive. And I don't need a man. It's nice to have one around. So that's kind of where I stand on that. Um, but yeah, like I said, I keep hearing this. Why did you get with this person? Oh, they were young, they were fit, they were pretty, they were blah blah blah. And then I hear, well, they weren't that great once I married them, and because you hear women lie. You hear good night, anything random. Women lie or they put up a front, so you don't know who they really are. But I think that goes this. That's the same with any relationship. Not everybody is 100% themselves when they put themselves out there. Some people are guarded. Some people, some people are crazy and they don't want the crazy out and they hide it. you know. But the whole point of me getting on here tonight really was to just put a message out there for all those young women out there dating these older men. Be careful, you know. You don't want somebody. Oh, okay. Any random. Good night. Um, be careful because dating somebody older than you is not always a great idea, you know. Um, I was 18 dating men that were 10 years older than me. My mother about had a heart attack, but I was an adult. She couldn't tell me what to do. And I said that age gap is not bad when you're older like me, but when you are young, like barely out of high school, not a great idea. It's just not, you know. And just so much can happen. Just so much. I mean, there are not good people out in this world. There's a lot of bad people out in this world, as I'm finding doing this true crime channel that I have on here. The depravity, the cold-heartedness that's out there is just so sad and scary, and I just worry for the safety of everyone out there because men and women, it goes both ways. There's a case in Winston-Salem right now with a guy. He just disappeared. Wife doesn't know where he is. She's worried. There's a friend, a sketchy friend that might be involved. I'm not sure. Just craziness. And I just wish women, young women, would listen to the more wizened women out there that are not crazy. Like, my daughters refused to listen, take any advice from me because of the marriage I was in. You know, it was not good. My husband was abusive. It was a whole thing. And because of the fact that I did not leave, they don't trust my judgment for anything. And I get that, but at the same time, the one thing I have they don't have is context. You know, it's perspective. And you only get perspective as time goes on. And they're way too young to have perspective because they haven't lived like I have, or as long. So I always worry about them when they meet new people or when they go out, you know, because I don't want them to be in the position I was in. I don't want that. So, you know, but that was my whole point of getting on here tonight was to talk about the fact that young women stay young women. You know, don't be dating somebody, don't be getting a sugar daddy. Don't do that crap. It's so cliche and so tacky. Oh my god. You know, it's not worth it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and say, "What the hell did I do? Why did I do this?" And it's just not going to pan out. It's just not. Very few men actually leave their wives or somebody younger. It doesn't work out that way. That's the fairy tale, that's the story. If you're lucky, you get with somebody who does that crap and they just never leave their wife and you just move on. If you're unlucky, you end up shot on a picnic table at a park and you die. That is unlucky. So there's my advice there. I know one of the last times I was on here, I mentioned that I was doing a complete deep dive on the Marissa Carmichael case with all the evidence and the notes and everything. I am still working on that. I know I keep saying that. I've been working on it for weeks. And I will most likely go live with that maybe Sunday night, Monday night. I'm not sure. Because there's just so much involved in that. And when I go do the deep dive, I'm going to do a deep dive on every person that's popped up in this case. You know, whether they're helping, they're a friend, they're a suspect, family member, everybody who has popped up and has given me hell about this, threatened me, whatever. We're going to talk about it live, and I'm going to bring it up. And when I download everything and add all the evidence to it and re-upload it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But the court records, the domestic violence reports, the scamming with GoFundMe. There's just so much going on, so much with that case. So yeah, but I guess it looks like I'm losing some audience here. So yeah, like I said, did not mean for this to go into a whole why do men do this and why do women do that discussion, but it's a discussion nonetheless. And just think about that out there. If any of you are under the age of 25 and you're dating somebody who's at least 7 years older than you might want to reconsider that relationship. Just throwing that out there. Don't sell yourself short. I'm sure there's somebody your age that could be pretty cool. You never know. And before I hop off here, I'm going to say my words I always say: be weird, be rude, be safe. Because if you're weird and rude, they won't take you. I guarantee it. And keep your eyes and ears open for the missing: Marissa Carmichael, Michaela Wilson, T.K. Burton. Those are the three that we talk about the most right now. Especially Marissa. It's been months. But yeah, just keep your eyes and ears open. And if anybody wants to confess anything, you can message me on here or on my Red True Crime Facebook page. And I always respond. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you for listening to me go on and on and on. And like I said, be weird, be rude, be safe. Bye. Rebecca with Red True Crime. I'm out.